which means we should hate them. I hate those guys.
So we do a crossover thing with our characters and people playing as those characters.
Well, at
Right.
some point in time, we may have a G.I. Joe campaign that happens where the Transformers and the G.I. Joe are all going to happen in the same universe. And if I can get you guys 3 campaigns in, My Little Pony.
Well, first of
No.
all, fuck you.
No.
Second of all, did you not know that Transformers and G.I. Joe are already in a shared universe?
Yes, and Power Rangers have also been in there.
Yeah, it's not innovation.
And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have been in there, and we're going to be setting the campaign in a city where one of the creators of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is from.
I will credit that I would play in After the Bomb. I just don't like Palladium.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
I don't want to play as My Little Pony.
No, I don't either. But as I said, if Larry somehow pushes this, I will just play Jigsaw the Bat Pony, and I will gratuitously and graphically murder people with tricks and traps and describe their function on air.
You see, here's the thing. I would want to play like Don't Rest Your Weary Head, but as My Little Pony. There's like a rules set for that.
Yeah, I know. There are multiple role-playing games using My Little Pony, but the secret is, when you actually think about it, is that they're just, how do I take My Little Pony and make it not suck?
Yeah, that's what I would be doing.
So the obvious answer is just don't play My Little fucking Pony. Just play Don't Rest Your Head.
You kidding me?
And if we're gonna play Don't Rest Your Head, why don't we just play Little Fears instead? Because it's way creepier.
Mm-hmm. So, hi everybody. Church.
Yeah, we are live, by the way.
Churches have to be a responsible adult and do a job.
And irresponsibly gave me access to be able to control this channel.
Oh, cool. So that's why I'm getting allowed to get away with talking about sadism and murder on air. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're not getting away with it in a way that will be a problem for you two.
Yeah.
We're coming for you, Susie.
But yes, and I'm really looking forward to whenever we get the first actual game scheduled and played and in the can, so we can show it to people.
So is there a link to this so that I can tell people, hey, come watch the show?
I just tweeted it out. What's up, Darb?
Sweet.
Thanks for popping in. Good luck moving.
Hey, Darb. Yeah, we should probably have a link to say, hey.
No, I've got it. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing.
You're doing it?
I tweeted it out.
All right.
You should be tagged in it if I did it right.
I probably am. I just hadn't checked my Twitter doobly-doo. And Church
Doobly-doo.
is almost home.
Doobly-doo.
Yep. And I have since found out from Tom, my Saturday DM, who I have spoken about on the show previously, and
yeah.
I found out several of the ideas that I've had for the game that I thought were ideas I was just dragging into the Power Rangers universe somewhat already exist in the Power Rangers universe, and I just have to make a few slight adjustments.
Hell yeah. Now,
so I'm feeling good about this game. I'm feeling really excited.
So telling my friends and a couple of my coworkers about this game, they're all exceedingly pleased that I got the Pink Ranger.
Oh, you actually took a color and you are pink?
He took a color and he is pink.
Yeah.
Are you also a female, or are we going to call you Mr. Pink?
Let's go with that.
Okay. No, I'm down with calling. Isn't Steve Buscemi Mr. Pink?
He was.
He's the only one who lives. You made the right choice.
Well, so Darb, we're going on Twitch live next week, right, for the first game?
In theory.
In theory, we'll be on Twitch. We will all be in hot tubs and mostly naked.
The first game session is plotted out in my head, including areas for you guys to completely jump off the rails. But you see, my plan is all the areas for you to jump off the rails have their own secret set of rails in there and contained.
Are you going to be more sadistic of a GM than Rune is?
No.
Okay.
Larry
checking.
and I were speaking about lethality, and comparatively, I think he's a sweetie. I think he'll give us plenty of emotional struggle. I don't think he's
Yes.
actually going to give us a lot of physical strife.
Because one of the conceits that I have for this game is there's an alternate universe where these adventures are going to be at a show kids are watching on Saturday morning. But what the kids watching the show on Saturday morning don't know is the grizzled reboot characters who did the remake movie 20 years later are acting in the original roles.
I was going to say, aren't we the grizzled reboot?
Exactly. It's like a stealth reboot in the original series. So I'm super excited about that.
We're the reboot that they swear up and down is a sequel. That's not a sequel. It's a reboot.
Well, that's called a C-boot.
A C-boot? Oh god.
Yeah, a sequel reboot.
See ya, Darb. Thanks for popping in.
And then there's a hard C-boot and a soft C-boot.
I hate these terms already. Carry on.
A hard C-boot is one that basically resets everything to 0, but acknowledges that it's vaguely in the same universe.
So, Star Wars.
A soft C-boot would be something like Extreme Ghostbusters. Oh, hey, you kids, how would you like to get hired to bust ghosts?
Well, wait a minute. Let's be real clear. Extreme Ghostbusters was not a reboot. Extreme Ghostbusters was a progression.
Right, no, but it's a sequel reboot because it rebooted the fundamental formula of the Ghostbusters by changing the characters.
I don't know, because all of those other characters were there. They actually had an episode where they actually addressed, it's like, hey, we did pass the torch.
Yeah,
but I actively think that it is a sequel series. And frankly, one done correctly, even though it didn't last real long.
I like those characters. They were fun.
Those characters were okay. If we're gonna say that there's a soft sequel reboot, I think it would be more like the Incredible Hulk movies.
Yeah. That's definitely more of a soft C-boot.
Well, because they don't deny that the Ang Lee Hulk happened, and they don't deny that the Ed Norton Hulk happened. They just don't address that there have been 3 actors to play Hulk in recent film.
Out of which only one of them was good, and that was Edward Norton.
Well, see, I don't think Bana was bad. I think that the director was wrong, and the story was badly made. I think Bana worked well with what he had, but Bana has a history of getting shit movies.
Yeah, and Norton didn't have a whole lot to work with, but he punched way up with what he had to work with because he's an excellent actor.
Well, that, and he was actually against excellent actors, because you had the guy that played Ross, and you had the guy, there we go, being Reservoir Dogs again. You have the guy that was the gargoyle, or the Abomination, opposite Norton. I think the only weak part of Norton's story was yet again, what's her name?
They also vaguely implied Reed Richards was in that movie.
Yeah. Not that he actually appeared.
Which is something they don't address because they basically stapled it into the MCUs. They just hand waved that.
Well, it's actually funny. I watched one of those movie pitch videos recently, and they were talking about Sony is trying to sell people that's like, yeah, we're basically in the MCU now. And it's like, no, you're not. I keep having conversations with people where we're like, but it's a Marvel movie. It's like, no, it's not. It's a Sony movie with Marvel characters. It's not Marvel. Definitionally.
This is a fact.
Can we sit at the cool kids table, guys?
Literally. It's like, but we got Spider-Man villains, and they kind of like Tom Hardy. It's like, no, they liked Mad Max. That happens to be Tom Hardy right now.
Yeah,
they liked Bane.
I don't get the Tom Hardy love. I don't think he's that good.
Tom Hardy's done a lot of excellent movies.
The thing about Tom Hardy is that if you're a normie, you've only seen him in Mad Max, Batman, and Venom, and you think he's a really good actor.
I've only seen him in Batman and Venom, and I didn't think he was a good actor.
But that's the thing. I'm not saying you're a normie. You have the ability to have opinions. But first and foremost, he was in Star Trek Nemesis when he was much younger and on cocaine. Okay.
Church is gracing us with his presence.
And then when he was off the cocaine, because he had just gone through rehab, he did a really great historical called Branson about the most dangerously violent criminal in England.
Which was basically his major claim to fame. That was his first really big I'm a good actor movie.
Yeah. And he's had a lot of good acting films away from America. Yet again, it's a foreign actor who, quite frankly, we don't use them well. We abuse foreign actors. I do not know how Idris Elba does it. I can only assume it's because he's black.
Well, Idris Elba was not used well in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. But that's because he's not a voice actor.
You didn't like what he did with Knuckles?
I don't know, because he was a voice actor in Zootopia as well.
He was also not particularly good in Zootopia, in my personal opinion.
There we go.
Hey, Church.
Finally.
You came in just when we actually got to the point of one of the topics we're discussing.
We're actually on topic for once. Holy shit.
Oh, well, I'm here to fuck all that up.
So, I was about to lead into Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which I liked. It was a good movie.
I actually saw it, too. And, yeah, it was fun.
My problem with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and it's not really a problem, it's why I like Sonic 1 better than Sonic 2, is Sonic 2 is very clearly a movie made for a man like Church. A man who has multiple children, and every so often wants to take his children into a dark room
but
so they can stare at a giant screen and be quiet.
I thought Church was an incel. According to that one guy's Twitter poll.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Wait, there was a Twitter poll?
No. The Twitter poll was how many posts does it take for Church of Failure to call you a cuck? And the options were 1 post, 2 posts, 3 posts, all of the above.
But before that,
I was the only one who voted, and I said all of the above because I know Church.
But above the question, it said like, "Let's play spot or name the incel" or something like that.
Yeah, he implied you were an incel.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'll continue to be involuntarily celibate with my children and married life.
Exactly.
I mean, I think they just call that being married.
Wait a minute. Do we call it incel because it's still inappropriate to just call it being Will Smith?
Oh.
So Sonic 2 is very clearly made to be a movie for the kids. And right. I don't have a problem with that. It's just, as somebody who's not the kids, I enjoyed it less.
Okay.
Holy shit! I'm sorry. I'm a jerk. I looked up the poll. It only ever got 3 votes. Right. Of the three, 2 of them were all of the above, and 1 of them was third tweet. So everyone agrees. Church will call you a cuck.
Yes.
But I also voted all of the above because I wanted to see what was in the poll.
Ah, sweet.
So really, only one person voted the poll, which was probably him, because he's. Oh no, you can't do that with Twitter polls, unfortunately. But
you can on your alt accounts.
So he only has 1 alt. What a cuck!
This is why we're friends.
This is why we're friends. So the problem I have is Idris Elba's character didn't have he just wasn't a good voice actor. He was fine, but just like
I thought he was fun. I
feel like they cast Idris Elba to play on the meme "This is the way."
Well, it's funny you say that, Church. What's funny is in the opening sequence when Robotnik first encounters Idris Elba, he asks him where he found the blue quill. He said, "I could show you the way."
He
See?
does say that.
Explicitly-
It was great.
It was explicitly referenced, and I missed that initially. Like going, well, son of a bitch.
Here's
Well, see,
here's the
I was looking for that reference. So
here's the thing of it, though. It's not a question of is Idris Elba good in the role, although we would hope, and if he's not, well, that's unfortunate, right?
I'm not sure he's a good voice actor.
It's did they get Idris Elba because they want him for his quality, or did they get him for the bragging rights of having Idris Elba? Which is
the thing is like Idris Elba was wasted on that role for the simple fact that they had him play a dumbass.
The thing is, I have seen him be used in several movies, and he's been wasted in all of them. He was wasted in The Gunslinger. He was wasted in Thor. He's wasted in this.
He was not wasted in Thor.
Well, no.
I disagree on that one.
Also,
he was a great Heimdall.
Also, The Gunslinger.
No, he's a great actor with a shit role that did not have enough time to matter.
Well,
Heimdall didn't matter. Sorry.
That Dark Tower movie. We could do a whole show just talking about how that movie was a giant dumpster fire and a massive production fiasco. He did everything he could for that role.
Right. No, that's the thing. I always believe Idris Elba is doing his best. I just don't think he's given things that have enough meat for him to work with.
And Matthew McConaughey did everything they could.
Has anybody else here read the Dark Tower series?
I've read some of them.
I've read all of it.
I have not. I find it incredibly dense to get into.
It is. But, I mean, with somebody who has 8 hours a day where I need my brain numb to get through it, it's either start drinking at 8 a.m. or find something that will take my brain away from what I'm doing so I don't neck myself. So I listened to all of it on audiobook, and I will say that it is one of Stephen King's greater works, and you can tell that it is because he tried to incorporate literally everything he's ever written into it.
Also, he incorporated himself into it.
Well, of course he did. But it's still a fantastic work. Problem is, it works on paper. It will never, ever, ever work on film. Ever. It's too fantastical.
I think you'd have to make it a TV series, honestly.
It's not about being too fantastical. It's not about being film versus TV. It's, as I understand it, that it is a horror spaghetti western because it was originally conceived of for Clint Eastwood and episodic in nature, which means you would need something in the style of.
But that quickly changes after the third book.
Right, but I'm just saying, you would need something in the style of, like, The Mandalorian, which, whether you like it or not, in its first couple of episodes is very episodic western.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but here's the problem.
But
once you get to... Go ahead.
The reason it won't work, as you say, is not because the medium's wrong or because the media source is wrong. It's because you and I both know that once they had a win, once they got those first 3 or 4 episodes just right, corpos would not keep their fucking hands out of it.
Oh no, that's why the movie went to trash.
Well, not only that, but the thing is it works as, like, you could probably get away with a TV series for the first 2 books. But then there's so much fantastical shit happen, you don't have the budget for all the special effects you would need.
Let me... Okay. I mean, we could go off a very long tangent about this, because that's a very good book series, and we can also get into a fact of how it does race bending in the movie versus the book, and how that actually undermines a core plot element later in the book. But let's get back to Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because I don't want to go too far down a tangent. So... The other element about Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is this could, in theory, be the last performance of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, because they won't let him wear a fat suit.
Well, no, not that part. Jim Carrey's saying, basically, yeah, I'm done. I've acted long enough. Had a long enough career. Unless, like, the perfect script falls from heaven and I feel, like, compelled to do it, I'm done. So Jim Carrey's last role, potentially, could be Dr. Robotnik,
which is amazing.
Well, here's the thing you gotta keep in mind. It's not just that Jim Carrey is older, right? Jim Carrey is, to the best of my knowledge, a father. Okay, And it is a thing among a certain classification of actor and comedian and intelligentsia in Hollywood that you'll do all of your edgy, dark, violent, super intense stuff in your youth. And then once you're older and you mellow and you really don't have to work hard, it's like, I'm going to do a thing for my kids. So my kids can watch it. So they can have fun watching their dad do work.
You mean like Raul Julia as M. Bison?
Raul Julia as M. Bison.
Frank Langella is Skeletor.
Frank Langella is Skeletor. I was trying to remember his name. Thank you. It's just straight up a choice of like, I'm going to go be absolutely ridiculous and have a lot of fun in what is otherwise a bad movie that's beneath me. I think that's why Jim Carrey had a stink about Kick-Ass, because when he jumped on the property, I think he thought it was going to be a slightly edgier sort of 15, 16-year-old kids movie, and didn't realize that, no, those movies are moving away from the kid-friendly element and more towards the extremity of the comic.
Yeah.
Because I hate those comics. Those comics are nihilistic and mean.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, he's 62, but he only has one kid.
But the voice actor for Tails, I believe, is the person who almost always does Tails in the games and in the Vidya and some of the anime and stuff. So that was a solid performance from someone who's always done the solid performance. I miss the guy who played Michael Madsen, I think is his name, the guy who plays the Donut Lord.
Marsden.
He was a good actor. I really enjoyed his character in the first movie, and there wasn't really enough of him in this movie. For me, I really liked his character, and also his character arc of becoming Sonic's dad in this movie.
That was weird.
No, it wasn't weird. It's
Really?
basically like he adopted a kid, and the kid finally accepted him as his real dad.
I thought it was kind of weird.
Is that because you're just waiting for that bit where they introduced the princess and the good version of Robotnik? The princess has to make mouth sex with a hedgehog. Is that your problem, Ayrton?
Look, don't bring up mouth sex unless we want to go on a 2-hour diatribe about Ethan Ralph.
Oof.
You mean what Ethan Ralph's not getting?
No,
what he's taking.
He's taking
bacon.
Yeah. Also, there was a after credit scene with Shadow the Hedgehog, and the peoples on the internet are trying to get Keanu Reeves to be Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh, why?
Because he knows kung fu.
I don't give a shit. No, it's first of all, that rolls beneath Keanu Reeves. Second of all, I'm gonna say it here, I don't care how good Sonic Adventure was. Shadow the Hedgehog is a shit character and a shit idea, and proof as to why Nintendo or Sega of Japan needs to stop doing Sonic the Hedgehog and just give it to Sega of America. We always had the better storyline, but they just really are embarrassed to admit it.
I'm really not sure after the third movie if there's another Sonic the Hedgehog movie, so I'm assuming they're going to take all the money they're going to make off of these 3 movies and start producing their other Sega movie universe franchises they're planning to produce.
Well, I can't wait for Sonic the Hedgehog to have to take on zombies in the Resident Evil crossover.
I mean, that'd be pretty base, not gonna lie.
No, you know what we based? The one thing we ain't gonna get. I want a little bit of Terminator, and I want a little bit of RoboCop, and I want it to have a R rating, and I want to call it Mega Man. That's what I want in a movie.
That's kind of cool. The problem would be
Isn't
though
that
that
Capcom?
Mega Man. Yeah, I think Mega Man is Capcom.
Yeah, so wrong franchise.
No, it's not. That's the thing. Because in comics, at least, back when Sonic was under Archie, they actually got the Mega Man license and were at an official Sega, Sonic, Capcom Mega Man crossover. Dr. Wily versus Dr. Robotnik for all the cookies. It was actually interesting.
Huh. So the other movie I saw this week was Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And when I...
real quick, I've got to chime in here. The next Sega movie that we're going to get is Crazy Taxi with Chaz from Constantine as the driver.
I'm okay with that.
I mean,
Well-
look, I'm gonna throw this out there because he's done voice acting before. My bet for the next Sega film is a animated feature with Benedict Cumberbatch as Dreams, and it's just going to be a 2.5 hour long LSD trip without the LSD. Bring your own LSD, kids.
Well, I'm just disappointed that Rune didn't bring up that Echo the Dolphin needed a movie.
Isn't that just Flipper with aliens?
No, man, because the video game was even worse.
No, I know. I've played it. I played Echo the Dolphin. It actually had really interesting mechanics. Like controlling a dolphin was an interesting experience.
Anyway, Sonic 2 into Sonic 3.
Well, and
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, we also need to talk about, which is in the title of this show, the dimensional merge, since we talked about Sonic.
Well, the next movie is actually going to be kind of connected to the dimensional merge.
Oh, okay.
I thought the dimensional merge had already happened when Ethan Ralph became Chris Chan.
Well, no, it's in the process. It's in the process of happening.
I actually asked that. I asked in our Twitter conversation, which was worse, Chris Chan or Ethan Ralph?
We don't know.
Ethan Ralph.
It's absolutely Ethan Ralph. Yeah, 100%.
Are you sure?
Chris Chan just doesn't know better.
Right.
Do you know better when you're constantly drunk off your ass?
Yes. That's why you get drunk, is because you know you're doing wrong, and you need to do wrong anyway.
You're asking Church if he knows better while being drunk.
Exactly.
I know best when I'm drunk.
How many children from experience, sir?
How many children does Church have right now, and how many of those children was alcohol a factor in producing?
None, actually.
I'm pretty sure he has 3, and 12 of them were produced by alcohol.
Well, shut up, but still. No. Believe it or not really big on the sex while drinking thing.
Huh.
Yeah. Whiskey dick is not fun.
I've learned something new.
It's not even that. It's I usually drink too much, and when I drink too much, I need to go to sleep while the room's spinning, or else I'm going to throw up. And throwing up on someone usually means they don't want to have sex with you anymore.
I mean, Will Smith would disagree because he did
that.
No,
he wouldn't, because he did that, and guess who doesn't want to have sex with him anymore?
So. The other movie I saw.
Throw Matt a link in the Discord here.
Oh, yeah.
Matt?
All right. You guys have this chat. I'm going to go get some coffee real quick.
Okay. So, the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I explained this to a friend of mine on a Facebook chat, and he said, that sounds exhausting. And that is the classic use of the Rainier Wolfcastle. That's the joke meme as a line. So, Michelle Yeoh. You know who Michelle Yeoh is?
No.
She's the Chinese chick from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She's also in Star Trek Discovery and soon to be in Star Trek Section 31.
Okay.
She's one of the leading female action stars from Hong Kong.
Are they getting Siler back for that?
No.
Oh, really?
They're doing a different Spock.
Oh, really? Zachary Quinto gave that role up, or did he get booted from it for being a pretentious prick?
No, they would have paid him. They'd have to pay him too much money to do a TV series.
Oh, okay.
So in this movie, she plays a lady, older Chinese woman with a husband, and a business that's falling apart, and a marriage that's falling apart. She's taking care of her elderly father, who's recently come over from China, and he's not all there, and his health's not all there. Her daughter's a lesbian with a white girlfriend who's got the lesbian shaved hair, stereotypical hairstyle. And she's being audited by the IRS, who's threatening to take all of her worldly possessions for reasons that exist as the IRS. This is how we are introduced to our central character. And then, as she's about to go up to her audit, something extraordinary happens. She finds out
who's playing Cans Out Wave in the background.
I think that's Rune is making his coffee. So, as she's about to go to her audit, she learns that there's a multiverse, and there's an evil force in the multiverse that's coming to destroy everything, and she's the key to saving everything. And the evil force in the multiverse is actually her lesbian daughter. And she gets powers.
Sorry,
Excellent.
my brain kind of tuned off for a second. What?
I'm with
her lesbian daughter is a villain in the multiverse?
It is the villain of the multiverse.
Is the villain in the okay.
And she became the villain because an alternate version of her in the multiverse made her daughter work too hard, and she became evil and nihilistic. And
wait. So hard work makes you evil now?
Well, hard work can, break a child's brain, is what they're saying. The Chinese mother who stresses too much on their child causes the child to feel sad and depressed and emo and nihilistic.
Okay.
So the mechanism for traveling the multiverse is you have to do something completely random and stupid. And then you connect to another aspect of yourself in the multiverse, and you can download their skills. So it's like the thing from the Matrix, but you're downloading your skills from a part of you that's more successful in another universe instead of from a computer. And most of the movie is in a giant dumb fight scene in an IRS office or in the family laundromat. And
wait, the family. Okay.
The family laundromat.
I'm just. Yep. So we got some heavy stereotyping going on here.
No, it's not stereotyping because it's written by a Chinese person.
But I thought it was Koreans.
No, the Chinese.
That own laundromats, though, not the Chinese.
No. Chinese sold them to the Koreans once they got rich in this country. So anyway, she starts getting skills and powers, and then things start getting weird.
Matt, you should have the link.
So there's a gag where she confuses Ratatouille with Ratatouille, and she has this alternate idea of a Ratatouille movie with a guy who has a raccoon under his chef's cap telling him how to cook, which is set up for that later being a reality in the multiverse.
Wouldn't that be a Ratatouille?
That was what she called it, Ratatouille.
Oh, all right.
And the husband, who is Short Round, and this is Short Round's return to acting.
Excuse me, I need to go vomit.
Wait,
I'm not
seriously?
even sick, but I need to go vomit.
No, Short Round is great.
Yeah, no. So this is his return to movies.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Oh.
Yeah, but he's returned because he's tired of being stereotyped as an Asian and as a geeky little kid. So he's now plays the henpecked husband, which is kind of another stereotype, but I'm okay with that because he has a few scenes where he plays the action version of himself, and one version where he plays an alternate reality version of himself where he's a swanky businessman. And the villain creates an everything bagel composed of all of the things that are terrible in her life. And that becomes a black hole at the center of the multiverse that's slowly sucking all of the goodness out. And the only way for Michelle Yeoh's character to fight her lesbian daughter is to become equally broken and be everything, everywhere, all at once. And when that happens, the daughter tries to convince her to be sucked.
I just want you to understand, this is the point where you've lost me.
Well, that's Act 2, Church.
Did I make it longer than you thought I would?
So the moral of the story is the power of love and family defeats nihilism.
Matt, you should have the call link. We're not actually streaming from the Discord.
Hi, Matt.
And so...
Did you send it to the right account, though? That's what he's stressing.
I'm pretty sure I sent it to the right account, yeah.
So Confucian piety defeats nihilism. There are also a couple of weird sight gags, like a world where everybody has hot dogs for fingers. And the hot dog fingers are also penises.
What?
I knew I was gonna hate that movie when I saw its ad.
And a multiversal being fights another multiversal being in the middle of an IRS audit.
You know, I liked this movie when it was when it was called Sucker Punch. Oh wait, no, I like this movie when it was called Memento.
Well, I mean, Sucker Punch also kind of lied to you a little bit as a movie.
No, I know Sucker Punch was garbage, but I'm just saying that to me, this particular film's use of the very concept of a multiverse is a scam.
It is. Because almost all the action takes place in the laundromat or the IRS office.
Wait, when does Spider-Man come in?
No, the scam.
When does Spider-Man come in?
Well, no, he's not connected
in a
to this
better movie.
multiverse. He's not connected to this multiverse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
Well,
This
then
multiverse, this multiverse is just an Asian woman's schizophrenia.
And there's a whole subplot about.
I thought that was the entire Unbreakable trilogy.
No. That's Sam Jackson's schizophrenia.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
there's
schizophrenia of an angry black man who wants to know why Marcellus Wallace is a bitch.
There's
Look, are you not woke enough to understand that Sam Jackson can be a schizophrenic Asian woman if he wants to be?
There's also
fucking bigot.
There's also a subplot in this movie about being concerned about telling Grandpa that his granddaughter's a lesbian, and he's like, "Okay, fine. Your girlfriend's a nice lady." So they take one of the major stressors of the lesbian daughter before she becomes part of the multiverse, and it just makes basically for nothing.
See, here's the thing. I've heard a lot of people.
What are we watching here?
What?
Matt, your camera's on.
This is Matt's Murder Dungeon, I think.
Oh, sweet. What?
This is just me around my shop.
Okay, guys.
It's just me wandering around my shop.
Okay, viewers. We do not have
here.
we do not have a super chat set up, but if you put money in an envelope and send it to me, we will tell Matt who to murder.
This looks like a Mr. Plinko episode. Do you have a hooker tied up over in the corner?
I mean, yeah, the smart car that weighs as much as a hooker.
I mean, look, the real answer is we got to give Matt pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah, you can't even put a hooker in there, really. Like,
I was like, when I'm buying a car, I have to judge a number of factors, including the size of the trunk. Because if I can't fit 3 hookers in it, then it's not worth it.
So, Everything Everywhere All at Once is an angry feminist movie.
I'm putting this thing back together. It's a 6x6. We have tracks for it and everything.
Nice.
So it's an angry feminist movie where angry feminist nihilism is defeated by Confucian filial piety and obeying the IRS.
So this is the next stage of the leftist extremist scheme. They started with feminism. Now they want you to subtly accept China's fundamental correctness, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because there's no time for love.
Well, yeah, we got to have social credit scores.
Yeah.
Mine's already negative at this point.
Keith, lay down. Lay down.
So that's my movie review section of this show.
And how did this link into the dimensional?
Because the main character links to herself in other dimensions and downloads their powers and abilities.
Oh,
wait,
okay,
so it's
just like Chris.
So it's also The One, a much better movie that everyone hates because they don't like martial arts action films that are just fun.
I love that movie.
I love that movie also.
No, I know. Anyone with good taste actually likes that movie, but
I don't like The Matrix. I think it's boring.
Well, no, The One.
Oh,
not
The One.
The One.
Oh, I've never seen.
Yeah, it was a Jet Li joint.
Look, Jet Li.
Okay, so let me handle this one. Let me Well, here's the thing. Okay, so there's this dimension where Jet Li's a cop, right? He's like the super do-gooder. Well, he finds out that a bunch of murders are going on in the multiverse where versions of himself are being murdered. So he tracks down the murderer, and it turns out to be another version of himself who admits that every time one of them died. Basically, you remember in Secret Wars where, see, here it is. You remember in Secret Wars where Dr. Doom was killing off Molecule Man? And every time he did, the Molecule Man's power grew that much more exponentially or whatever? Well, that's what happens in the one. Every time a Jet Li dies, all the remaining Jet Lis get more powerful.
So Secret Wars plot was stolen.
So it comes down to 2.
One.
Well, no, this came out before.
Well, part of it, yeah.
This came out before Hickman's joined. It was actually a comic book.
That's what I'm saying.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, so he stole the idea.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably one of his influences for that plot line.
Yeah.
Okay.
And by the way,
Considering
I am happy to figure out how I sneak Secret Wars into our upcoming Power Rangers game.
Oh, Jesus fuck! Can you not?
Jesus, okay.
Well, no. Tom King's already.
Well, he has to. It's contractually obligated if it happens on this. Yeah, it's contractually obligated if it happens on this channel. It has to some way, shape, or form connect back to Secret Wars.
Yeah. So Tom King's connected to it already. I've already figured out how Tom King's getting into it.
Okay.
Because I found out there was a Bat Power Ranger monster. So it's Sad Bat. It's a bat that makes everybody feel depressed and want their mommy.
you don't know what it's like to be a sad bat, to be a mad bat.
Behind the cow.
Behind bad eyes.
I haven't figured out how I'm bringing in Alan Moore as a meme yet.
You just have his face off against the tree wizard.
No. I'm gonna hate myself for this, but the actual answer is that our version of Zordon from our dark future is more like Alan Moore than Zordon.
I hate you so much.
Well, you see, if I did that, though, I wasn't going to get the fish penis reference in for Ayrton.
Well, no, you can, because at some point we have to have flashbacks about our dark future, which means we've at least seen a fish penis monster, like a fish putty, raping someone.
Oh.
So just maximum cringe and darkness.
Can it rape church?
No.
Can that be what happens? Why not?
No. That's not what happens.
Besides, that would just be pickled fish. Nobody wants pickled fish.
And also,
hey, I know for a fact that church likes fish sticks.
This could be a kids show role playing game.
Oh yeah.
Where there is going to be a pig who's going to be stealing Maker's Mark and then later stealing Xanax and Percocets that you have to fight.
So, Ethan Ralph.
Yes.
He
That
also has
to be the first monster.
He also has to have double tits.
I'm right now trying to come up with a good Ethan Ralph soundboard so that we can play that during the campaign.
That's the thing. If,
maybe you can reach out to MC Jarbo.
Oh no. I've got a better way to make this work out for you, Ayrton.
I'm gonna go for a 2-mile walk after this show just to show you fuckers. So
Treebeard is an evil wizard that works for our version of Rita Repulsa, right? Whatever that is.
So does that mean as long as
he could be
as I get to shoot Alan Moore, I'm good.
Well, because our Zordon is just a variation on Alex Jones.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to be really busy on Tuesdays for the coming months, actually. I don't know why. It's just a sinking pit in my stomach saying I might not be able to make all these shows. Oh, God.
But,
a joke.
Yeah. But that was a movie review. We were going to talk about some Dungeons and Dragons and how Dungeons and Dragons is making Rune's blood angry.
Actually, I want.
Well, I saw RPG Maker in the hashtags. I'm wondering what that's about.
I don't know. I typed in RPG, and that was the first one that popped up with the most hits, so I clicked on it.
RPG Maker is a basically a what was it, SNES game that you could make an RPG from?
No, it's a PC game.
Is it?
Yeah, they're like up to the, I want to say like 10th or 11th incarnation. I've got.
I just remember making characters say obscene things, and that be the only part of the things that I ever completed was just having a town full of people that just said weird shit.
Yeah, that's not RPG Maker. RPG Maker actually is a program for making like Super Nintendo style RPGs.
Yeah, you make basically.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I ended up doing. Is I made a town full of people that said obscene things when you interacted with them, and that's all I did.
So you made the show,
basically.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been dreaming of doing this ever since I was a wee lad. But anyway, Strixhaven was stressing you out, right, Rune?
Someone discovered in Strixhaven's page count something that had been missed when Strixhaven was in build-up and was brand new and everyone was talking about it. There is apparently a party, like a masquerade, with a fashion show.
Yeah.
It's prom with a fashion show.
And
real quick, Matt, if you say something, unmute, because the power tools are coming through, so I put you on mute while you're doing that, but whenever you talk again, just unmute the thing. All right,
the thing is that this struck a chord with my outrage buttons because I had just learned about the Hellfire Gala 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Right? And it's...
Oh, so you've been sitting on this information?
For about a day and a half, yeah. I've been busy with other things, church.
Okay.
You know, my mom's in the hospital, so...
No, I understand.
That takes
precedence. No, I thought you meant the first Hellfire Gala.
No, there's a new one. They're doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
more people are going to hang out with racial supremacist war criminals, because that's what the cool kids are doing.
Matt died.
Oh.
The cool kids are hanging out with Dr. Doom, and they're staying up late, and they're not eating their vegetables, even though Doom would command them to eat their fucking vegetables because he's Dr. Doom.
and
Dr.
also,
Doom believes in health.
And also, did you see that one subplot line of the original Hellfire Gala where Dr. Doom and Captain America realize that they're both good and honorable and virtuous men in the same sort of way?
No, I did not. That just hurts me and even fucking more.
And that if a certain kind of thing happens, the two men will fight together side by side because they're good people.
Just because you work together doesn't mean that both of you are good. That's not how anything fucking works. Just because you work together doesn't mean that both of you are good. Exactly. My rage is so strong, it's coming through twice.
It is.
So I need to ask you real quick, Rune. How do you feel about Spire RPG? Because our buddy, Famous Expert, he's a fan of it. He's talked about it multiple times on multiple threads.
Tailspire or just Spire?
Just Spire.
Spire?
Yes.
I've got to look it up because I know a bunch of things.
I mean, is it good?
Is it? Are we talking about a role playing game? Or are we talking about like a program for making games?
I don't know. I'm just saying that our buddy, Famous Expert, who ran the poll on Church, he seems to think it's really cool and has talked about it.
It's probably some sort of garbage indie game.
I mean, if it's the garbage indie game I'm looking at, it doesn't sound bad.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
Spire is a role-playing game about desperate, revolutionary dark elves caught up in a secret war against the high elves, or Elfir, irrelevant information, who rule the towering city of Spire. It's like, yeah, that could be fun. That could work. I don't see a problem with that. But my problem with the fashion show, though, is not that there's a fashion show, not that there's a party, because going all the way back to fiction, the roots before role-playing games were role-playing games. You got Mask of the Red Death, and there's several fancy dinner parties that are crashed by the Three Musketeers and the like. Going into disguise and doing silly things is just a thing adventurers do. My problem is the idea that instead of it being a mechanism to deliver you onto an adventure somewhere else, or daring do, or intrigue, that it is presented as the notion that your goal is the fashion show. I'm gonna walk that aisle and I'm gonna be famous, fabulous. It's like, why? Why? Why is that your fucking goal?
Because you're living your best life then, Rune.
Yeah, but you know what I need to do live my best life then if I really want to be the center of attention, make everyone love me? Okay? I drop a spell that makes everyone love me. I don't need to look fabulous with fancy clothes.
Yeah, but here's the thing. All those spells generally have a consequence that after the spell's done, they'll realize that you violated them and they're angry at you.
Oh no. Consequences? Why should life have consequences? What a horrible fucking idea that is. Oh no. So meanwhile, I'm running a vampire game.
Here's the thing that I don't understand. Here's the thing that I don't understand, and just walk me through this.
Okay.
So in the RPGs that you do, I mean, there's nothing ostensibly wrong with having a fashion show.
Sure.
Right, as part of because you can actually use that to progress several different kinds of quest lines or whatever. I mean, if you really wanted to, if you wanted to work it in there to appease a certain audience or whatever, like. I mean, I'm sure it would work on something like Tabletopless with a bunch of naked women sitting around playing D&D.
I've not actually watched the show.
So,
I really want to, but I have to pay for it.
Ostensibly, there's nothing wrong with the fashion show. Why does this anger you so much, Fred?
All right. So here's the thing. You sit down with some friends.
Just to play devil's advocate.
Right, but here's the thing. You sit down with some friends, you make a character. Okay? You have strength, dexterity, constitution, wisdom, and charisma. Right? You have a set of weapon proficiencies, spell-like proficiencies, right? You have all of this equipment you have to acquire with your starting funds for being an adventurer. You're going to leave home, leave the comfort of civilization, travel into travel into the wilderness and face monsters and dangers and mystery to acquire something: wealth, power, influence, personal growth, whatever. Right?
Try to fill the empty spot in your heart where the love of your family should be.
Right. Whatever the motivation is. Okay? Strixhaven says no. You're going to make a character with all those things, but your aspiration is to go to school. Not leave. Not adventure. Not stretch yourself. Not risk anything. Just go to school. We're going to do Discount Hogwarts as a John Hughes movie.
And not even a good John Hughes movie.
Not even a good John Hughes movie. And then it's like, okay, well, how do you get by? What's your primary motivation for being a adventurer if you never leave school? Well, you can work in the coffee shop. Okay, I'm working in the coffee shop. Now what? Gotta make that rent. I do that in reality. Why is this a fantasy thing? Because you can do it with magic. What? Yeah, you can just, use your level 1 fire cantrip to heat that coffee. Oh, great. And now we add on to this idea of a fashion show. What is your great aspiration? I'm going to be the queen of the ball and have the fanciest clothes. To what end? To have the fanciest clothes. To what end? To have the fanciest clothes. Okay? Now, mind you, I could see it. If you came to me and you said, Joe, I've never run a game, it's going to be about a group of models going on the fashion circuit in the season. And the actual crux of the story is all the backbiting, politicking, scheming, and attempted murder that goes on behind the scenes. I'd be like, okay, sure, that could work. But that's not a D&D game. That's not a grand Tolkien-esque adventure, right? That's a World of Darkness game. That's vampire.
Hold up. Or we could just say that all these fashion houses are really fronts for different cults of the Elder Gods, and then it's a Call of Cthulhu game.
Right. You know, and this brings us to the actual struggle, argument, crux going on in gaming right now, is you have people going, but it doesn't have to be those things, it can just be a fashion show. And it's like, okay, but what if I decide I want to run a game where the fashion show is an outlet for, you know, illicit whorehouses? But that's offensive about women's bodies and makes me feel bad. You can't do that.
And it's also offensive about sex workers.
You can't do that. Even though they can't stop you from doing that.
Oh no, we got to worry about offending sex workers and whores now.
Well, whores prefer being called sex workers now.
Yeah, I don't care.
More importantly, I just want to throw out good ads for because we've mentioned them twice. Those girls at Tabletopless actually play. They don't fuck around. Just because they get naked and naughty things happen does not mean they're not doing D&D hardcore. It's great.
Church, can I put it in my contract that I have to stay clothed during all of our shows? For this game?
Well, I mean, why would you do that? Why would Church do that? Because he's probably going to be in a bathrobe for part of it.
I assume he's always in a bathrobe, kind of like.
No, you actually sign the contract where you're always going to be semi-nude during all of our shows.
God damn it!
I just haven't enforced it. So
look, Ayrton, you must minimally wear a banana hammock. That's all that's required.
How about Daisy Dukes? Can we compromise?
I said minimally a banana hammock. If you want to wear more, no one's going to stop you, man.
Oh, all right.
I recently had to introduce some people in a role-playing game group to Twin Peaks related to Daisy Dukes. So, what about the ADHD Dungeons and Dragons supplement? That also angered up your blood.
Angry up my old man blood. No, it's just people play role-playing games as escapist fiction. We do not play role-playing games to be taught very special lessons about other people's issues. Maybe for very young children, but otherwise my brain is like, why do I need a specific book to be like, and this is what it's like for me to have mental problems at your table. Just leave your problems at fucking home. You're not being them here. You're being someone else.
I still remember at a game where there was somebody in a wheelchair in our playing group, and he played a superhero who got accused by the police of assaulting the handicap. And because of the way he carried himself, we didn't think about his chair. So that was one of the few times he said, "Really?" And they're like, "Oh shit, that's kind of fucked up, man." And we all had a good laugh about it.
Back when I was LARPing on the regular, I used to tell people that I had an aspiration because I have my mom's old pushchair for a wheelchair. I really sometime wanted to get a gimp suit, right? And get pushed around in that wheelchair all night as a Nosferatu. And then at some point when no one was looking, I would get out of the chair, but I'd leave it somewhere, right? And I would sneak around the site and watch people do things and listen into their conversations, right? So when people went and looked for me, they're like, oh, wait a minute, that dude can get out of the chair?
Good times. Good times.
Seems like we're moving again.
We are.
Where were
big
we?
ass power cord.
Oh yeah, that's for my welder. I just installed that yesterday.
We were working on a 6x6, but now we're outside.
So Mechanical Matt is installing a
fire extinguisher right there because you can't fuck around, right?
So Mechanical Matt is installing a
building inspectors.
My welder, wherever that thing is.
Hold on.
Under my jacket. There's my welder. It just plugs in there. And, I'm just getting my new shop up and running here. So, and my good friend, I have to show you guys this. Look what he fucking did for me.
Okay.
He made me a fucking sign, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's fucking.
I actually like that logo. Wonderful. It's not the best I've ever seen, but it's not the worst.
I know.
It still tells what you do. Cool. The only difference I would have made is I would have put all the technical drawing lines in between the word mechanical, like ghosted in the background, like all the top where you shape out the letters.
His daughter that designed the logo, and then he had this sign printed. And like, just for frame of reference, like there's my hand, so it's a pretty big sign, right? Like, you know.
That's an 18 by 24 roughly, inch wise. So
on one of the two front doors of my brand new shop. So there's the one bay, and then here's the other bay. Still working out.
Take notes, ladies and gentlemen. While the four of us dick off on the internet, Matt's being a productive human being.
You're fucking right. I got lots of jobs here. Okay. I don't stop.
His puppy.
It's like, what time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock, and I'm still working. Like, you know, what kind of retard does that shit?
I don't know. I think this is.
I didn't get home until 10.
This is my parts guy's truck. It's really cool. He wants me to just check out some electrical stuff and run my computer. The little tablet that I'm talking to you guys now on is what I'm going to be hooking up to this thing. I just spent like fucking $1,500 on the fucking thing, so I could get all the the cords and everything pre-OBD2, plus 2 years of free upgrades, and by then I won't be working on anything that's like in 2024 for another 12 years or something. So
I think he's getting further away from his internet.
Even
or that might just be me.
If we're still around by then. I mean,
Anybody?
There's my humble bird right there.
Bueller.
And I live, kind of in the fucking rainforest. That's an old '57 bus.
Wait, where do you live, Matt?
He's in Canada.
I live on Salt Spring Island.
I'm just looking at your sky, and it's like that's roughly the same color as my sky. Which means you must be West Coast.
Yeah, I'm on Salt Spring Island. Yeah, West Coast of BC.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
we're the farthest. We're almost one of the furthest south places in BC.
Okay. So
we're actually below the 49th parallel here. So
if Church ever decides to send an assassin, I'm glad to know it's you.
Yeah. I'll be gentle. Don't worry.
All right.
So he says.
Well, look, everyone's real gentle with work gloves, a blowtorch, and a welding mask. You should know that, Ayrton.
Fair. So, Larry, I see your Twitter post that you put in here in the private
Welcome
chat.
back, Church.
Yeah, so to one of the people...
My internet seems to be shitting out on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
lovely.
So to one of the people that brought up one of these terrible arguments online, I responded because he was saying, well, like, if you don't like it, don't bring these books in. And I was like, that's nice that you live in a world where that's a choice, but if you're going out there and you have to recruit new people who are new to the hobby to join in, people like you are more of an anomaly, but they do exist.
Hold on, Matt. Show your Jack Russell Terrorist again so we can solo that one.
Oh, yeah.
Larry talks. Okay. Continue, Larry.
So, but if you're getting random newbies to your table, you end up inevitably getting people who want it to be exactly like what's in the D&D books.
Well, it's easier that way, I think, for new players, especially when they sit down for the first time. It's easier to take a templated character than it is and play something that is kind of easy for them to follow, maybe something they can read ahead a little bit on and understand what the fuck's going on.
That would be part of exactly what D&D is vomiting out right now. They don't want to be part of old stuff D&D is vomited out of like 6 months, 8 months ago. They want to be part of the current vomit.
Why? Because Baldur's Gate is obviously the best vomit.
So Larry, as the only person here who is still new to this whole role-playing game thing, what is the context behind this discussion you had with this gentleman?
So there is a common response on both sides of the current culture war debate involving D&D is, number one, as Rune pointed out, yeah, you can say all this dumb stuff about, politics and modern stuff that doesn't belong in a fantasy game, but that's not going to happen in my table because my table is an anarchist domain that I rule as the game master because I'm God here.
Right.
And the flip side of that is that there are also players who are saying, no, it has to be exactly like it's in the new books because that's what everybody else is playing and I don't want to be left out and be different.
See, my boggle, all right, is I've been thinking about this since you brought it up. I don't actually think what you describe is the common problem, but I do think it exists. What I think the problem is that the newest generation of people coming in, right, are using the YouTube sphere as their example, right? And the reason they want up to the moment, up to the current book, is because they honestly think that that's all there is. Conversations about do it your own way or be inventive or be creative only seem like sophistry when every single source of game only does the most generic, most common, most direct, most one-to-one version.
Favoring it's a giant slop bucket.
Right, because doing anything different would be scary and complicated.
So I don't know if I missed something and wasn't entirely paying attention, but how does that make any sense? Because I had a ton of fun doing Chronicles of Darkness with you,
but we cheated.
And this Power Rangers game, I'm actually really into this.
That's the thing. You're looking out in that we're cheating because we defied norms. We didn't follow the standard. We raised a giant middle finger to WotC and company and said we're going to play the edition we like. We're going to play the games we want to.
Yeah, but didn't you just say people want to play what it right. says?
Normies that are not us. The people that would. We're talking about the people if they were comics readers, okay?
Who buy Batman all the time.
Right. And when you ask them why are you buying Batman if you don't read Batman, it's because you have to buy Batman. You can't not buy Batman. So when you say, yeah, but is it any good? But it's Batman. Batman makes it good. It's the same people I used to run into back in musical circles who would give me shit for liking metal when metal had gold records and be like, but they ain't got no platinum. It's
corollary.
So
the corollary is the people that listen to Dave Matthews because it's Dave Matthews.
Okay, I mean Dave Matthews is fun though.
You can have fun playing what garbage is currently being vomited out at you by wizards. You can have fun.
Here's the thing. Here's the key element that's making the confusion. Choosing to like something and use something is different than adopting a position that because the corporation has put it forth, you must use that thing.
Oh, you must obey the corporation.
So it's basically like Will Smith versus Chris Rock, a cuck versus not a cuck.
I mean, yes.
Kinda.
Oh, okay. That's all you had to say.
I couldn't figure out what Jada Smith is in this. Oh no, Jada Smith or Jada Pinkett is WotC in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chris Rock gets up on stage. He's like, "Hey, how about that D&D? I'm waiting for that 6th edition," and everyone laughs. And Jada scowls and looks at Will Smith, and Will Smith walks up and stands for the edition because the corporation's upset. That's the problem.
Even though we all know 6th edition is coming.
6th edition is not fucking coming. I actually hate that we have invented this grassroots argument of a 6th edition and how terrible it's going to be sight unseen when there is no 6th edition. They haven't announced it. They haven't suggested it. It's not coming until it happens.
It is coming. It's in pre-production.
Well, to segue the argument real quick, the new Magic set, New Capina, is that something that exists in D&D?
Not as of yet.
They're trying to figure out how to merge Magic and D&D more.
I mean, they've already done it. It's setting books.
Well,
they just don't like that they don't make a lot of money off of their Magic-based setting books. Because people don't
New Capina
want them.
actually seems fairly interesting because it's
no. As Magic settings,
it looks
for
like
Magic,
they tried to blend.
Here's the thing, Church. As Magic settings for Magic, they're fine, right? But as D&D,
No, Strixhaven was trash.
It was, but as D&D products for books, getting people to buy a setting book for a Magic the Gathering based setting, they're real confused as to why people aren't buying into them. And the answer is because they're not listening to the base that, one, doesn't want them, and two, if we do want them, we want the thing they're not giving us. People want either a race or a class for Planeswalker. So we've always wanted. And the longer they don't give it to us, the longer we won't buy those fucking books. Okay? Because what do people want? People want Dominaria. They're not giving it to us. People want Planescape and Dark Sun. They're not giving it to us. They're giving us everything but what we want.
Well, to me, that would work better in old Walker settings. And this is some Magic the Gathering shit I don't expect a lot of people to get. But old Planeswalker settings, Planeswalkers were a lot more common and a lot more powerful. But in new Planeswalker settings, they've written it to where it has to be like an MCU Infinity War situation to warrant the use of Planeswalkers on a mass scale.
Right. But
what about Secret Wars?
The thing
We've
is
already done our reference for the night. We're good.
The thing is that in a tabletop role-playing environment, even if your game is not about this, players approach it like their character is one of the Avengers, is the guy that's going to save the world, which means if a Planeswalker option exists, they're
going to take it.
If the Planeswalker option doesn't exist, they want to know why you're not giving them the candy.
Yeah. And also, WotC doesn't want to make splat books, even though you can make quite a lot of money off of splat books if you do your production costs right.
Right, that's the thing. When they make splat books, they make shitty ones, and people don't buy them. And then they say, well, people don't want splat books, not putting together that there is a quality component involved.
And we want Dark Sun again. We want Planescape again. We want Spelljammer again. We want Greyhawk again.
Well here, and see, and this is actually a perfect example. Someone in WotC, some paper-pushing numbnut, nipplehead, says, but we did Dark Sun in 4th edition and you didn't like it. It's like, yeah, we didn't like that Dark Sun because that was a watered-down piss take of Dark Sun. We want actual Dark Sun, which means actual Dark Sun is Mad Max in a fantasy world and is kind of hardcore dark.
So, Church, did you ever play in Dark Sun? Church?
I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but we shall see.
He disappeared.
Okay. So, Ayrton, I'll direct this at you. So, here's what Dark Sun is different than regular D&D.
I've never played in Dark Sun.
So I'm telling you the experience. Normally, you make your characters at level 1 as God intended, even though heathens these days make you start your characters at level 3, which is wrong.
Filthy fucking heathens.
Why would you start at 3?
Because you get all your class stuff unlocked at 3.
But then why can't level 3 just be level 1?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because dumb shits don't put together that the levels 1 through 3 are your character learning to be an adventurer, and you're starting at the bottom.
Yeah. So in Dark Sun, you start at level 3 because otherwise you're gonna die.
You die.
Secondly, in Dark Sun, you have 3 characters because one or more of those characters will die.
Okay. So you have to role play 3 characters at once?
No. You have to make 3 characters.
You prepare characters in advance for the potential eventuality you'll ask go and die.
Also, at a certain point in time, when your character's like horribly mutilated and needs to take time to heal, you have another character there, so you don't hold up the game.
But can't they just keep going and leave your ass behind?
Well, I mean, they could, but that again means you just be sitting there while everybody else is having fun, and that's kind of a dick thing to do to your friend.
Yeah. Oh, apparently the wind keeps knocking out Church's internet.
So here's the thing. Here is the key difference, because at the time, this was innovative when you consider, okay? Basic D&D, whether it's in Faerun or the Old World or whichever setting you're using, basic D&D is Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Okay? It's using Lord of the Rings, you get that. Okay? And slavery and inequity are aberrations of evil and
that are bad
to be fought against. Which is good. You know, it's fun. Fight the power. In Dark Sun, okay, it's not
everybody's basically a slave.
It's not that evil is the norm. It's that the social order is oppressive, and people have accepted this as the norm. Which means
the axis of good and evil is based around how you distribute water to people.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So what you're actually looking at, like an adequate Dark Sun opening, okay, is you're a desert nomad on your cart drawn by animals, right? Like that's a giant insect, right? And all of a sudden, a bunch of war boys come by, grab your ride, take you hostage, drag you to their castle complex, and you are made a slave for your fluids in a Morton Joe's Citadel. That's a Dark Sun game.
That is 100% a Dark Sun game.
That also sounds like one of my fetishes.
The thing is that, like, I tell people I want to play Dark Sun. They're like, okay, Joe, what do you want to do in Dark Sun? I'm like, I want to be a gladiator. And they're like, okay, and what are you going to do? I want to work the circuit. And they're like, wait, what? You just want to play a game where you're a gladiator? It's like, fuck yes. Because you can start as a slave with nothing in Dark Sun, right? And metal is rare in Dark Sun. So, like, it's like, what's your weapon? I have a fucking animal tooth that I've sharpened. And I just stab people with a shiv. It's like, okay, and what are you going to do? I'm going to go to the arena, and I'm going to fight horrible monsters and desperate men and murder other gladiators with my bare fucking hands. Because if I can make it through all the cities to the free city of Tyr, I can win my freedom, and I will be famous and wealthy. And it's like, oh yeah, no, that's a totally doable life path there. I mean, you're apt to die, but like you can have an entire thing where your life is you're the slave and you want to get free, so you fight in the arena, and then you have to travel through other cities, which means there's overland travel and dangers because there are raiders and desert elf gypsies and insane cannibalistic halflings.
Also, there's something called a silt horror. A silt horror is a psionic monster that has the ability to predict who will come near it. And also it has the ability to make you come near it. So it can eat you.
So even though I use Mad Max as the comparison, if we actually need to discuss what does Dark Sun look like, Dark Sun is Beastmaster.
Yeah, it's Mad Max and Beastmaster.
Yeah, it's Beastmaster with a serious edge of dark.
Like, if I could have the ideal Dark Sun experience, I would play a Defiler on my quest to become a Dragon King.
So you would play Ethan Ralph.
No. A Defiler's magic is powered by Dark Sun's a horrible, ruined environmental hellscape. Well, my magic would come from taking the good, positive aspects of the environment and draining them to fuel my raw magical might.
He wants to be a Captain Planet villain because if he wins, he turns into a dragon god.
Okay, I could get behind that.
And I would have turned into a dragon
Captain
god.
Planet. That show is retarded.
And I would turn into a dragon god so I can restore the world to its natural balance and greatness.
Under your authority, of course.
Under my authority, of course. Now, as part of becoming a dragon god, I have to establish a city with thousands of people who are under my heel, and those people have to build various artifacts for me that are all created using human sacrifices.
Right. So hold on. But Ayrton, here's the thing. In a hypothetical Dark Sun game, okay, all right. You have Larry. Larry is the God King that would be, right? Have him take the noble background, okay. Church could be the overseer. He mans the slaves.
I mean, honestly, Church would be the cannibal halfling. Don't lie.
Sure, but I would be the arena slave for the pit that
you're gonna give
Larry
me some
owns.
you're gonna give me some bullshit role, aren't you?
No, I mean the obvious answer is you are the herald and the bard of Larry's group. Your job is to both announce him and craft the story of his rise to greatness.
Also, bards in Dark Sun are basically assassins.
Oh, okay. I can dig that.
Yeah.
Now, is there a way we can mix the MLP game with Dark Suns and actually have fun with it?
Technically, there are no horses in Dark Sun. That's the thing. Dark Sun
I don't care.
Dark Sun's incredibly fantastic. So instead of like horses and wood and stuff, it's like
they're ponies, Rune. It's different.
but no, that's the thing. Like if you had My Little Pony Dark Sun, what would happen is the ponies would be transitioned from Equestria into Dark Sun and start to die as their magic was drained away to feed dragons.
Okay, so Larry, once again, I ask you: is there a way we can mix Dark Suns and MLP together for that game?
Also, Ayrton, you could play a praying mantis person as a bard in Dark Sun.
Play a 6-armed psionic bard assassin.
Okay.
And by the way, it's a bard assassin. So when we make jokes about seducing everything, you're not seducing everything because you have an unspeakable hunger for Quim. You're seducing everything because you murder people in their bedroom when they go to have weird insect sex with you.
Also, just to let you know,
I'm okay with that.
Also, just to let you know, your species finds elves delicious.
They are delicious.
Even
if they're clockwork?
Well, no, they're not clockwork elves.
Oh.
But,
no. You could have clockwork elves, though. It would be great. Because there we are. We're traveling to our venue. We're going to go do some stuff. We find a ruin. We decide to explore it while we're waylaid because we popped a fucking
sandstorm.
ski. Yeah, there's a sandstorm, so we got to go hide out in the ruin. And we discover a sleeping contingent of barely in good repair clockwork elves waiting their command word.
And then I get to kill and eat them? Fuck yeah.
Well, because some dumb shit's going to accidentally say the command word, and now you got to fight elf Necrons.
As long as I can kill and eat the elves, I'm good with it.
What was that, Larry?
I said elf Necron sounds pretty amazing.
Elf Necrons with like bronze metal Kopeshes in armor. You use the rules for Warforged.
Yeah.
So you're just fighting elven style Warforged.
That sounds amazing.
That have been waiting for activation.
And their activation word is the dwarves are pussies.
Oh, I was going to say pineapple juice. But...
Well, see, that's the thing. If I was going to play a gladiator in Dark Sun, we're going to go full on with the working the circuit. I'd play a mole. I'd play a mole. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Which is a half dwarf, half human.
Yeah, they're half dwarf, half humans. They're completely bald.
They're hairless as the day is long.
So it's like, what am I doing with my pre-fight makeup. It's like I'm sitting at the mirror. I'm drawing on my angry eyebrows. I gotta put on my war face.
But among the reasons that Dark Sun can't exist in the current contemporary climate of D&D is number one,
slavery is legal. Slavery is
two,
a legal, accepted part of society.
Yeah. Number two, cannibalism is common.
But it's a game.
Right, but we can't have things in the game that are bad in society.
Right,
but it's a game.
But here's the thing, Ayrton, that brings back to what we were talking about and why is this Strixhaven stuff offensive? Okay, there's a contingent of people, writers and players, who are both trying to say you can't do bad things in your game because bad things you do in your game somehow affect real reality and make people feel bad.
Also, they mean that you want to do those things.
But it's a game.
And they're using the platform of writing the game to tell you what you can play. What they're saying you can play is banal, superficial, emotional shit with no consequences, no importance, no meaning, and no violence.
Versus Joe and I who are telling you can play a praying mantis man who's a bard assassin who goes around killing and eating people.
Right, but and see, here's the thing.
But you won't let me play a suspected school shooter in the Power Rangers.
Well, look, that's a little too edgy for the game you're playing.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Having said all of these things you can do, all these horrible, dark things that you can do in this realm of perfect freedom, right? That's also why you don't do them. When you play Dark Sun, because the setting is fucking awful and because everyone around you is half a step from sheer fucking barbarism, right? When you play the character that is civilized, right? When you play the character that aspires to things and works to make the world a better place, you're being an inspirational figure.
And Dark Sun wants to destroy you.
Right, but if you survive, if you can resist and endure, your legend is profound and your table is like, oh yeah.
So if I can eat enough elves.
Well, here's
you don't get a benefit for eating the elves other than the fact they're tasty.
No.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it would be the sort of thing where like you don't eat elves because you find eating sapients to be beneath you, even though they are really tasty, right? But the
elves really sapient.
But the day you run into a elf villain who is like really offensive, you're like, I do not eat sapients, but I am glad I do not think of you as a sapient. and then you eat him. And so some people are horrified and some people are like, yeah, he deserves that. Hand me a fucking leg.
All right. I still don't see the problem. Is it just because people are little bitches and cucks?
Well, no. They believe that if you want to play a game where you get to eat other sentient creatures,
all right, I'm going to create a term. Ayrton, you have successfully created a term. We live in the cuckening. Okay.
So because I want to eat an elf as a praying mantis bard, that means I'm a cannibal.
Yes, to these people.
That's what they're saying.
To these pod people that have
so they're retarded. That's all you have to say.
Here's the thing. The cucks in the cuckening, okay, want to make everyone else cucks too, right?
Okay.
So when you say I'm gonna play an insect man, they're like, oh, that's great and creative. You do that, and he's like, and I want to eat people, right? They're like, oh, that's problematic, right? And when you say, yeah, but I'm an insect person, they don't recognize mammalians as people, right? Their brains go, if he doesn't recognize fake people as people, that means
he doesn't recognize black people as people.
He doesn't think of real people as people, which means he could. They don't jump to cannibalism. They don't actually think you're a cannibal, but they'll think that you might do any number of other awful things. You might somehow other people. So they have to other you first.
I mean, I do. But
do you though?
Saying it for the lulz isn't actually othering other people.
I thought it was at this point in our current timeline.
In the brains of cooks.
You see, I tend to like Clown World for my description of the world that we're in.
Are we in the ballooning?
Well, no. So Clown World is based off of a.
That's what I'm saying. If we're in the ballooning, it's because the clowns are making balloon animals out of everyone.
Well, no. Like, have you heard of the origin of the concept of Clown World? It actually comes from a philosopher.
Okay, proceed.
So it's about this group of people who are in a theater, and the theater's on fire, and the clown is the only one who has the sense to go tell people the theater's on fire, you should run, but everybody thinks it's part of the show and they laugh.
Right.
It's a quote by Schopenhauer, and I'm pulling that up while we're.
I don't know. I still kind of like the cuckening because it makes me think of The Happening, and that makes me think of Mark Wahlberg going, "What?" No.
I mean, I was actually inspired to it by a very bad but funny movie called Your Highness, in which the villain of the piece is trying to be transformed into a dragon by the use of a ritual called the fuckening.
Okay.
So why exactly are we not able to get the Planescape back?
The what?
Oh no, it's Kierkegaard. It's not Schopenhauer. It's Kierkegaard's quote for the Clown World. But what exactly is their problem with Planescape?
There's a lot to unpack there. First and foremost, the question is who owns what. It always starts with who owns what.
You have 29 minutes.
But then the other bangle is Planescape, for all of its great deal of affection held by a very outspoken portion of an already small group of players, did not sell very well.
It did not.
So it is the thing that keeps getting shunted aside, because I honestly think WotC's afraid of making good chipboard combat rules. You need really good chipboard combat rules for planes for
you meant Spelljammer when
Spelljammer,
you said the ship rolls.
Yeah.
Planescape is the thing that they made their knockoff Magic the Gathering version for.
Yeah, we can't have Planescape because they're trying to do discount Planescape. Haven't you read the new book?
Yes, I did see that book, and I said,
new book.
I said, wow, this is like Planescape only without any of the interesting ideas.
No, it's Planescape with a guitar circle. Yeah. Ayrton, do you like to play Kumbaya? You have a guitar.
I in fact do not. I don't even think I know how to play it.
But Ayrton, everyone wants to play Kumbaya.
They can suck my dick.
But Ayrton, all of these people of color who wrote this setting book want you to play Kumbaya. Do you have a problem with people of color?
So anyways, I started blasting.
That is the white man's answer. No, seriously. I don't even remember the name of the book now, but there's a new setting book that includes a interdimensional... No, it's not Ravnica. Ravnica's good.
I thought it was Ravnica.
No. There's an interdimensional city in the ethereal plane where they said, you know, what if we had this city, but everybody just got along?
Well, that's lame.
That's the entire thesis. Okay? It's sigil, but not sigil, in the ethereal rather than the plane of concordant opposition. And everybody gets along instead of Game of Thrones and peddling influence in a vast interdimensional city of madness and adventure. Because that's the thing. Adventure runs counter to safety.
The Lady of Pain is also something that runs counter to safety.
Even though she keeps everyone safe.
She does. But don't worship her as a goddess or else she's going to kill you. That's one of the rules. You don't worship the Lady of Pain as a god, or she'll murder you.
Yeah.
So, if you want to get out of the game real quick, that's all you do.
Well, no, she doesn't even kill you. That's the best part. She'll put you in a maze with a. I mean, there's theoretically an exit if you can find it, because they always have a way out. But if you never find it, you just never get out, and you probably die there.
She also is responsible for Ravenloft. Which,
no, she's not specifically responsible for Ravenloft, but she might be one of the dark powers.
Yes, she's one of the things that imprisons all the terrible things. And Ravenloft was another setting that WotC has recently ruined.
No, they didn't.
Really? I thought that they basically said that it's not a dimensional prison for horrible people.
No, it's still a dimensional prison for horrible people. They really, really tried to mess it up, but you can't fuck perfection.
They still focused on Strahd, who is quite honestly one of the least interesting things in the setting.
She was good.
No, because you have to start with Barovia. Starting on Barovia base is fine. The boggle is they tried to bring ethnopolitics into it, and people said, I don't care. They said, but our Vistani is different, and people said, I don't care.
The original was fine.
Well, the original did have its negative elements. The depiction of Roma through the Vistani is not great. But it's not worse than what they got now. Right? No, the issue comes in with the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, which added more domains. Right? Where they basically failed to meet their intention. Right? Because they were like, we're going to show that Dark Lords are complicated and some of them aren't bad. And it's like, yeah, but every Dark Lord you describe is absolutely a monster. And they're like, well, we gender swap some of them. It's like, yeah, they're still monsters. You didn't create a context where any of these people are good, or perhaps not exploitative, or not wrong. And
so here's how the myths work. They bring in horrible, awful people, and they bring in good people to torment the horrible, awful people. That's it. That's how it works.
Well, that's the one big change that I don't like to Ravenloft, but it's a really passable one that you can do away with, which is the idea that most of the people in Ravenloft don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are puppets specifically designed to torment the Dreadlord by being unable to be influenced and just being expendable puppets.
Yeah.
But no, the realm of Dread is still a prison. What they did from Fourth Ed that I don't like is they said, oh, it's on the plane of shadow. It's just part of the plane of shadow, guys. It's just a prison on the plane of shadow. And it's like, no. The demi-plane of Dread has always been in the ethereal plane. The reason you don't randomly go through various colored doorways in the ethereal is because you might wander into the ultimate bad place. Because there are literal realms of imprisonment so extreme that they make Ravenloft look pleasant by comparison out there. There are things in the D&D multiverse you don't want to contemplate.
Mm-hmm.
Which then, of course, WotC doesn't want you to contemplate, so they just don't mention them. So what, we got 20 minutes, Ayrton?
Roughly. Sorry, I zoned out for a second at the end of that.
Just watching the nerd wall.
Yeah.
So
I was looking for other sound bits to play to be annoying.
No, Ayrton, I gotta ask you a serious question though.
All right.
That soundboard you did recently, was that live? Did you actually play that at a place, or was that your soundboard making that crowd?
That was YouTube.
No, the when you were playing the Power Rangers theme.
Oh, the Power Rangers
the Delta
theme
Blues
video.
Power.
Oh,
yeah.
No, that was just a sound clip I found of just a pub scene that I put underneath the whole track.
Because I like it.
Oh, thanks.
I like the extremely sad downturn kind of gritty. It's like, yeah, this is Power Rangers, but this is not the Power Rangers you remember Power Rangers. You know?
Oh, I'm glad you guys liked it. That's kind of what I that's kind of what I was thinking. Like as I was working on that rendition, I was like, okay, what are we doing? It's kind of like the future. It's kind of dreary. We're in space. So I added way too much reverb and echo to the track to make it sound kind of otherworldly, but still familiar.
You treated it like J.J. Abrams treats a script.
no, just like Brian Eno treats a song. But
oh, we got a trouble out of Matt.
But yeah, and then I was thinking about it. I was like, oh, I already said I'm going to be like a jazz lounge singer as my character in the future, so fuck it. Let me find a pub background sound effect. And, yeah, and I picked I think it was an Irish pub specifically, so it was a bunch of drunk Irish people, so it didn't sound like English that they were talking.
Yeah.
That's specifically why I chose the background sounds that I did.
I agree.
But I'm glad you guys liked it. It was a pain in the ass.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Anybody listening to this show, if they want to go check out the rendition I did, it's up on my YouTube channel, just Ayrton McCartney. It's the most recent thing because I post once every like 9 months. I'm like a Catholic mother with my YouTube videos. Every 9 months you get a new one.
Woo.
Not like a Catholic mother where it's every 6 or 7.
Please send me a link to my kind of classified account.
We can't hear you, Matt.
I think he was saying send him the link so he can check it out.
Oh, yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, on the classified account.
But
I got it on my main, but my computer's down right now, so I'm not.
I just assumed you got banned again.
No.
But
No. Discord's still pulling fucking paywalls and out of me.
All right.
But no. The only other thing of consequence I got is I'm running a game of Vampire on the side, and having a wonderful time. It is nice to run a World of Darkness game without the blinders of terrible organizational principles.
How dare you?
No, he's talking about his LARP experience.
Oh.
Yeah. But I just recently, like at 6 o'clock this morning, set up a scene. I have a character who is currently aiming a rifle. And I'm going to leave it lie there and see how long it takes people to realize that there's a dude aiming a gun at the rest of the game and no one knows it.
Hell yeah.
I appreciated that scene you ran for Kathy and I with the hot water heater.
Yeah. It's like, oh look, a dungeon crawl.
Yeah, I appreciate that scene because hot water heater as a bomb is it's a very effective use of a hot water heater.
It was actually a hot water heater with like dynamite in it. It had an explosive force rather than water. Because
you've seen that MythBusters episode.
I have not. I don't care.
MythBusters tested a myth: can a hot water heater explode through a roof? And they found out it's actually fairly easy to sabotage one on purpose to do that. To the point that they did it in later episodes, where they were able to get exacting results every time.
No, my notion was that the water heater is a thing that can break if you set it up right, right? That is a hollow. It can hold explosives in it.
Technically, Rune, if you set it up right, it shouldn't break. You mean if you set it up wrong?
if your intent is to set it up wrong.
Okay.
And the real thing was that the explosive force was not the thing that was going to kill you. The explosive force was to get it started. The actual thing that was going to kill you was all the paper and all the dry wood with
Igniting.
all that flash paper. It was more about creating the environment for a burn room. Because I mean, you got all that dry newsprint, and then you've got flash paper in a Faraday cage, and you know that the fire is going to follow path of least resistance, so it's going to go right back up the flute into the upper part of the house. It's not going to stay at the bottom level. But no, the thing is, Ayrton, because I know you're a bit of a gun guy. Ayrton. The rifle that is now pointing at the rest of the game is a custom 135 pound single shot 1874 Sharps rifle with a 34-inch barrel. It's a big boy. Currently being held in the hands of a vampire who is turned to stone, but with an ability that allows him to perceive even though he's asleep. So he started aiming, can stay asleep in public without getting set on fire, and continue to aim the entire time.
Aim.
Well, in the World of Darkness system, specifically using guns, something we didn't get a lot of chances to do. The longer you aim, the higher your bonus.
Okay.
So when this guy finally actually takes his shot, he should have enough bonuses to offset the called shot, which means he'll just shoot the target in the head.
All right.
And unlike a certain shitty game that I was in, no, vampires do not take headshots well. It still stuns you.
All right.
All of this for a monster hunt, because in game there's a monster on the loose that is murderizing people.
I kind of hope your character gets vaporized in an explosion like mine did.
I mean, this NPC could totally get vaporized in an explosion. It could happen. I mean, there's a dude who makes explosions. You know him. You love him. He vaporized you.
Oh, that fucker.
This vampire game is a continuation of said Mortals game. Okay. So the entirety of the plot has been dealing with the fallout from what you guys did. Currently.
Oh.
You didn't realize, Larry?
I didn't realize that was.
Oh.
So my character's still going to disbelieve everybody all got killed, but now I know, yes, everybody did all get killed.
Everybody did get killed.
Because as a general rule in these sorts of games, my character assumes, everybody didn't all get killed.
Right, no, it's a perfectly reasonable response to go, nobody got. They all hid, it's a setup. But no, in reality, oh yeah, no, they got fucking blown up. But no, there was a deep in conversation in game recently about your characters, Ayrton and Church's character, because the leader of the Crone at the time has tracked down the changeling Jim and asked him, like, hey, what went down? And he's like, well, there's a box. And he explained the box and said he wasn't going to give the vampires the box because the box is too dangerous. So
what I'm hearing is, if we would have thought that last episode through, and or if we weren't trying to just end it so we could start this Power Rangers game, we could have actually not all got fucked.
If we had actually had the game, I want to say we're on chapter 8. Okay. Yeah, there would not have been an explosion. There might have been a big fight. You might have lived through that.
Yeah, not with my luck.
I mean, hey, you got put together once by a changeling. It could happen again. And you end up being the blues man RoboCop.
Who's also a psychic vampire. I need to stop shitposting when I'm making these characters, don't I?
Yeah, no. It depends. That particular setting, that was fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you shitpost in the Power Rangers game?
Not yet.
No.
Okay. Because quite frankly, the character with the behavior closest to shitposting has been me, but that's a design choice.
I mean,
that's a feature, not a bug.
I wanted to, but Larry wouldn't let me pick suspected school shooter.
Yeah, no, see, here's the thing about Rune's character. Rune explained his character to me. It's like, oh, you were the young man of talent and aspirations. You had so much potential, so many brilliant places to go, and they all turned to shit. All of them. And so you're just angry. That you have all this ability, all this potential, and you were never able to do anything with it.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you did stuff with it, but you can't let yourself think you did anything with it. Like, you were a hero, you saved people, you even saved the world, but you failed in the end. So it's like you didn't do any of those things.
Yeah. And then we have Ayrton, who apparently has a music career and is a Pink Ranger. Mr. Pink, with the fast hands.
Yeah. No, so I read through all the stuff in the book pertaining to that particular character. Yeah, to being pink. And I was like, oh shit, before we even got our colors, a lot of the things that I did in that session 0, which will be coming once I get this goddamn audio to export properly.
Yeah.
I decided to take a few days break off of that because it was pissing me off. I worked I think 18 hours trying to get it to edit and export properly. But I was like, oh damn, okay, yeah, I guess I'm stuck with the Pink Ranger.
But you totally fit the pink archetype.
Yeah.
I just hope that my real life situation doesn't escalate in such a way that I will be unavailable. But I'm not making promises until I know more.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's totally fair.
And
I'm sure Larry has a backup plan in case you can't make it.
Why do you think I have the White Ranger available?
I mean, worst comes to worst, I give Larry the character sheet and I just become an NPC.
Yeah, but that's why I have the White Ranger available. As an NPC. I already have 2 NPC Rangers. That was already baked into the cake.
Actually reminds me, since you're hosting, Ayrton, we didn't get to use the name I proposed for today's show.
Oh, which was?
Oh, it's great. Give me a minute.
I called it Sonic and the Dimensional Merge, but
little did you realize that was actually on point.
Oh no, I knew it was on point because I knew you saw Sonic.
Eventually
We'll get there.
Okay.
I mean, I can always change it.
Here we go. Mama Rune's Medical Malpractice Massacre and the Sleepy Juice Jamboree, starring Church, Ayrton, Larry, and Rune the dog-faced boy.
Yeah, that's way too long to put as the title for this episode.
But it would be awesome.
It would be. I mean, send it to me and I'll add. I'll make it the description above all the host info.
It's like our terrible terrible medicine show.
Anyways, I'm getting tired. It seems like we're running out of stuff.
We've run out of stuff with about 5 minutes early.
Yeah, not too bad. Typically, me and Church disrupt you two more, so the show goes longer. But anyways, do you guys have any last comments?
I mean, mostly, I hope anybody watching this has like good vibes for my mama.
Hell yeah.
She, like I said earlier, she's awake, she's coherent, but it's still too early to say whether she is on the mend. Doctors are confident, but I mean, the last time doctors were confident, my dad was dead in less than a month. So, take that as you will.
Fair enough.
Hopefully, just the detox will take care of the stuff, and she won't have consequences of such severity that her life will change over much, and she will hopefully be coming home, like we hope. If not, I got bigger problems to consider.
Right. Larry.
I mean that Matt, you've your camera fell over, Matt.
He got a phone call.
I know. It's just funny. Right. How do we know Matt's out? Phone fell on the ground.
So, everybody, pay attention to our social media and video platforms because you're going to hear about some Power Rangers stuff.
Hell yeah. Look out for the Twitch channel I think Church is making.
Mm-hmm.
And fingers crossed. What Tuesday? I thought it was Thursdays we were doing this, but Church said Tuesday. What day are we doing this?
A day where we can get everybody to show up and commit to at least 4 hours.
I mean, all right. Either one works. Anyways,
the important point in the conversation was if we're going to have everybody involved, that we need to stay away from last week of the month, because at least one of our players has a pre-existent commitment they cannot back out from.
On Sunday.
I want to say that Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
But we'll figure out the mechanics of the when.
Yeah.
All right. That was cryptic enough that I have no idea what they're talking about. But anyways, go like and subscribe. Look out for our Twitch channel coming up. Go follow us on social media. Matt,
and remember this was brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends, Raycons, and NordVPN.
And Blue Coal.
And don't forget BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.
I thought it was BetterHelp.
I don't fucking know. Anyways. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.